Prasar Bharati is guaranteed by an act of parliament. Prasar Bharati is a board-run organization, and the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting has an arm's-length relationship with Prasar Bharati. All the concerns which have been raised with regard to professional autonomy, with regard to the relationship which Ministry of Information and Broadcasting has with Prasar Bharati, I think stands squarely answered by the rather long submission which I have made.
Other Congress leaders too downplayed the incident by stating that the BJP was making a mountain out of a molehill. The leaders opined that editing any footage in any media house was the prerogative of the editor and that there was no issue to be debated. Rashid Alvi questioned why the BJP was not commenting on the staged interview controversy of Modi instead.
सभी चैनल्स एडिट करते हैं, सबके इंटरव्यूज एडिट करते हैं, उन्हें कितना दिखाना है कितना नहीं दिखाना वो अपने आप फैसला करते हैं। और जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी इसको मुद्दा बनाने की कोशिश कर रही है, जो दूसरे चैनल्स हैं, जो आपके इंटरव्यूज स्क्रिप्टेड हैं, उनके बारे में आप क्यों नहीं बात करते?
As I said, editorial discretion and a final editorial call is that of the people who are in the editorial chair. You may agree, you may disagree, and if you disagree, you write a letter to the editor and saying, I disagree with what you've done.
Meanwhile, journalist turned AAP leader Yogendra Yadav lambasted the Congress, but in the same breath said that the autonomy that the channel enjoyed under the BJP rule was far worse.
प्रसार भारती के सीईओ ने जो कहा वो बिल्कुल सही है। प्रसार भारती को ऑटोनॉमी नहीं है, उसे सरकार के विभाग की तरह इस्तेमाल किया जाता है, उस पर सरकार का दबाव रहता है। ये कोई नई बात नहीं है, ये कांग्रेस के दौरान हुआ है। और सच बात ये है कि जब बीजेपी के प्रमोद महाजन आईएनबी मिनिस्टर होते थे तब तो ये इससे भी ज्यादा बदतर स्थिति थी। तो बीजेपी हो सत्ता में या कांग्रेस हो, दोनों प्रसार भारती को ऑटोनॉमी देने के लिए तैयार नहीं है।
CPI leader D. Raja also asserted that the channel should be held accountable for their actions and an investigation should be conducted to find out the truth.
Whatever editing the Doordarshan has done, it is the responsibility of Doordarshan and Prasar Bharati to own up, and they must explain why they did such editing, what compelled them. Was there any professional reason for such an editing, or was there any political reason for such an editing?
Truly, such a controversy cuts a pitiful picture of Indian politics ahead of its big day on May 16th. While people are looking up to their leaders with the hope of substantial promises on development and living, politicians in our country are busy fighting elections on a personal level. A News9 report.
Well, the shooting for the Rajini starrer Linga is currently underway. Thalaiva, along with co-star Sonakshi Sinha, were seen at the movie sets at KRS in Mandya. And as expected, there was a huge crowd that had gathered to catch a glimpse of Rajinikanth. However, scenes turned ugly when a group of people staged a protest against Rajinikanth's presence. Now, the protesters claim that Rajinikanth, who way back in 2008 had spoken against Karnataka over the Kaveri issue, must not be allowed to shoot in the state. Now, Rajinikanth back then had stated that those refusing to give water to Tamil Nadu must be dealt with strictly. fact, the shooting for the Rajni starrer Linga is underway. Thalaiba, along with his co-star Sonakshi Sinha, was seen at the movie sets at KRS in Mandya. And as expected, there was a huge crowd that had gathered to catch a glimpse of Rajnikant. However, scenes turned ugly when a group of people staged a protest against Rajnikant's presence. The protesters claimed that Rajnikant, way back in 2008, had spoken against Karnataka over the Kaveri issue and hence must not be allowed to shoot in the state. Rajnikant back then had stated that those refusing to give water to Tamil Nadu must be dealt with strictly. Now, Pushpa Chauhan, the pregnant woman who was knocked over by Umesh Katti's wife's car, lost both the children she was carrying after doctors operated on her today. Now, Pushpa Chauhan, a worker at a garment factory, was on her way to her workplace when she was knocked over by the car belonging to the wife of Umesh Katti. Now, although her health is said to be improving, the two children she was carrying have lost their lives. Now, Afghanistan officials gave up hope today of finding any more survivors from a landslide in the remote northeast, putting the death toll at more than 2,100. The aid efforts focused on the more than 4,000 people displaced. Now, officials expressed concern about the unstable hillside about the site of the disaster. They stated that it may cave in again, threatening the thousands of homeless and hundreds of rescue workers who have arrived in that province bordering Tajikistan. Now, villagers and a few dozen police equipped with only basic digging tools resumed their search when daylight broke, but it soon became clear that there was no hope of finding survivors buried in up to 100 meters of mud. Now, triggered by heavy rain, the side of a mountain collapsed into the village in Argo district Friday morning, as people were trying to recover their belongings and livestock after a smaller landslip hit their homes a few hours earlier. We are told that villagers dug with their bare hands to try to find survivors under the mountain of mud, but officials said there was little hope of finding anyone alive given the scale of the disaster. Now, rescue efforts have been hampered by difficult conditions due to a week of heavy rain. Now, seasonal rains and spring snow melt have caused heavy destruction across large swaths of northern Afghanistan. Afghanistan's President Hamid Karzai ordered Afghan officials to start emergency relief works immediately to reach the poor village. Now, NATO-led coalition troops in the region were discussing search and rescue contributions with Afghan forces. This is what the United Nations has stated. Now, amid criticism on the Assam government over the militant attacks, Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi said that he is not planning to step down as the Chief Minister, and also that he will order an NIA probe into the killings. Now, the Chief Minister said that he would seek a probe into the militant attack that killed at least 30 people. As of now, a curfew has been clamped in all the 4 districts of the Bodoland area. The army has carried out flag marches and shoot-on-sight orders have been issued in the Kokrajhar and Buxar regions. Now, the state government has accused the NDFB of carrying out the killings. Now, all the victims are migrant Muslims. Now, the movie Ram Leela might have impressed movie lovers and critics alike, but there seems to be trouble brewing for the cast and producer of the movie. Here's a report.
Golion ki Ras Leela Ram Leela opened to packed houses across the country. Cinegoers loved Deepika and Ranveer in a new avatar, and their chemistry in the movie was to die for. While the praises linger on, so does the criticism. In what comes as a setback for the actors, a court in Muzaffarpur has issued an arrest warrant against the movie director-producer Sanjay Leela Bhansali, actors Deepika Padukone, Priyanka Chopra and Ranveer Singh. The arrest warrant has been issued pertaining to a case alleging that a few scenes in the movie hurt the religious sentiments of Hindus. Warrants have also been issued against another producer of the movie, Kishore Lulla, and the musicians and the lyricists of the movie. This is not the first time the movie has run into trouble. These warrants were issued based on a complaint filed by advocate Sudhir Kumar Ojha in November last year. The advocate filed a complaint under various sections of the IPC, alleging that a few scenes in the movie hurt the religious sentiments of Hindus. Though the movie was slated to release on November 12th, the Madhya Pradesh High Court had stopped the release of the movie till November 22nd, 2013. Despite court's orders, the movie was released on its slated date. That is when the trouble started. The CJM took cognizance of the case on February 14th this year and summoned the actors and the director. Not turning up to hear the case, the warrants were issued today. The warrant was issued by Chief Judicial Magistrate S.P. Singh. He has directed Mumbai Police Commissioner Rakesh Maria to arrest the actors and the others and produce them at Muzaffarpur Court on June 4th. Though the actors or any one part of the crew have not reacted to the controversy, it remains to be seen whether any reactions will be coming in now that an arrest warrant has been issued. A News9 report.
In fact, we have some big news coming in now. Mukhtar Ansari gets parole. CBI Special Court grants custodial parole to alleged gangster. This is the big news that News9 is tracking. Mukhtar Ansari gets parole. CBI Special Court grants custodial parole to alleged gangster Mukhtar Ansari. Now, Mukhtar Ansari was accused in the murder of BJP MLA Krishna Nand Rai. Well, an eaglet has been stuck under the nest in Neel Sandra area. Now it's been unable to free itself. Now, though the residents tried to help it, they have been struggling all these days. Now, the big problem is that the mother eagle has been fiercely defending its eaglet. Now, the residents have been trying to get some animal welfare societies in order to help them, but of no avail. Now, the former Chief Minister Dharam Singh was seen shaking a leg for Basava Jayanti in Bidar, now much to the amusement and encouragement of his supporters. Much to the amusement and encouragement of his supporters, that is. Now, celebrations were being held in a grand manner in Bidar. The Congress leader was one of the chief guests at the functions.